On the box.
On a box, yeah.
So, and we'll get
Great.
you, when I'm ready with the...
Thanks for tuning into this special edition of the Renshaw Report. Murray, reporting from the city. Too tough to die in London. My guests today, we're talking about honey, hemp honey, hemp with a cause, honey. We got a lot of things going on here today. It's going to be a sweet show, I can tell you that. So my guest, John Leahy, is with us tonight. He had his own show here many years ago. He ran for politics. He was very involved in the town of Waterford. He was a big shot with the power company. John graduated from Rensselaer Polytech, Masters of Business Administration, North American Electric Reliability Council, University of New York, Bachelor of Arts degree, Thomas Edison State College, Associate of Science and Nuclear Technology degree, and University of Phoenix Association of Arts degree, Electronic Technology, Navy veteran. Very proud of his submarine service. Tremendous guy, always prepared, and we look forward to his testimony tonight.
Absolutely.
About the subject. And the honey man himself, otherwise known as the bee man, I just met him, and he's been educating me on bees and stuff. Eric Paliuca. He is an entrepreneur with a vision for better. He started Hemp with a Cause in 2018 to blend his business into several things with a desire to make the healthiest CBD product on the market with transparency, quality, and education at its core. He has traveled the world in pursuit of inspiration and knowledge. When he's not figuring out a new way to make and market better products, he can be found with his family or on an adventure because he is likes to go fast on anything, even without wheels. He's an extreme athlete. He's an Air Force veteran, graduate from the University of Connecticut School of Business.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think I got that right, guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us,
Well,
Mark.
let's start with hemp with a cause. What's this all about?
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to be here. So Hemp with a Cause is the company behind these products and this amazing cause that we're involved in India, building a honey cooperative. So it started with the desire to make the world's healthiest CBD product. And that was four years ago or so when this was all kind of, new to everybody, and people were, CBD and hemp was kind of hitting the scene, and now everybody's heard it, and probably a lot of people are exhausted by it, but the fact remains the medicine is still here. And so the cause is very much to get people healthy, to help people get healthy, to provide trustworthy, high-quality, transparent products to help people get healthy, but also for people to know that they're putting their dollars, investing their into products that are doing something really good in the world.
So, Eric, I understand the honey part about it. I understand the bees make the honey. I really don't understand it. It's complicated, but
It is.
where does the hemp come into play? Is hemp in the honey that you eat?
Great question. So I was almost going to bring actually a gallon of my honey. So we're just going to pretend that I've got the gallon of honey here. So this is just, we have a raw honey, right? So we take raw honey, really pure, amazing raw honey from Colorado. And then we're taking what's called CBD oil. Okay, that's what most people know it as, CBD oil. It's funny because the way that I know it is full spectrum hemp extract.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
The CBD oil comes from the hemp.
Yes.
You squeeze it out of there somehow.
We squeeze it out of there.
Okay.
And that's a good question, is full spectrum, because I think a lot of people don't fully understand what is in this oil to begin with, Murray. So maybe you could talk a little about full spectrum.
Right. So it's good to understand that this is not marijuana. Okay. So marijuana that most people think of when they think of the word hemp is the plant that has certain chemical compounds in it that get people high. Okay, and
It's not the same plant.
It's in the same family, but it's not the same plant. And in order to be legal and to even have it on your table right now, it has to contain less than a certain amount, and 0.3% THC. Now, THC is the thing that gets people high, right? So when people say, they smoke weed, right? They get high, that's because of something called THC. So in these products, there's a very, 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 very small amount of THC. We're also coming out with a line that has no THC whatsoever, but that tiny little bit of THC is not enough to get you high. That's the psychoactive component. The CBD is the kind of the medicinal part of it, and that comes from the hemp plant when it's cultivated with particular strains and in a particular way. It's all genetics and things like that. So that particular plant contains a very small amount of this THC that will get you high. And so we don't touch that. And I have a lot to say about that. But we don't deal on that side of the industry, if you will. We just work with the CBD because we believe CBD is for everybody, and it can help everybody. And our bodies are even designed to actually take it. We have receptors that receive the CBD and do well with it, and it's just a really, really beneficial product. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand how you blend the two together.
Oh, right. That's what you asked me. I apologize. So I went on a tangent there. So yeah, so what we do is we take that CBD oil and then we essentially infuse it, or for the lack of better terms, we blend it. It's a proprietary process that we came up with.
Is it in a blender or a mixer or a?
It's in a mixer.
Machine.
Yeah, it's a machine. Yep, it's a machine. It's a big, huge machine. We take whole barrels of honey, 600 pounds of honey at a time, and we blend that with this CBD oil. And then we also have some other ingredients and things that we might put in there, and we get it so it's totally blended evenly, and that's really important so that each one of the sticks that we put it in is an exact dose, so it's that for without getting into the technicals, it's essentially a blending process.
Where does the hemp come from, and where does the honey come from?
Great question. So right now, our hemp is coming from, both hemp and honey are coming from Colorado. We are a Connecticut-based company. It's a Connecticut-owned. If Connecticut was up to speed on having really high-quality hemp, we would source it from Connecticut. But it's still growing. It's still getting its legs.
Why is it not, Eric?
It's just at this point, it just hasn't caught up to the rest of the country.
Can I grow hemp in my backyard?
If you had a license.
Oh, you have to have a license?
Yeah, you do have to have a license. So Yukon is working on a whole hemp program. Yukon has, I haven't really dug into what they have, but they have their work. They want to train people and get education out there of, this is farming, right? It's agriculture.
And as the states are mandating and passing, like Massachusetts a couple of years ago, get recreational marijuana. So that hemp kind of comes along, however, it's a little bit different. So then Connecticut just passed recreational marijuana. So you're seeing the rest of the states, part of it is for tax money. They're doing it because they want to get tax money for this and take the illegal trade out. So depending upon what state you are, just realize that federally, it's not federally recognized. So it's up to the individual states. Colorado has been very advanced. They were early in on this. So that's why a lot of their production, just because of the state itself, has the farmland. But we've seen pictures of his facility. We do have a picture that we're going to show in a little bit. And then one of the things that we try to transition is to the cause, because his company's Hemp with a Cause, and we want to talk a little bit about his cause, which is a great cause.
What's the name of the company here?
Hemp with a Cause.
Hemp with a Cause. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it. So, what are the benefits? What can this do for you?
Great question. Yeah, so that's what we love about it. We really want to help people. And so as we've gone out there, we realize that a lot of people have trouble sleeping, and a lot of people have stress and anxiety throughout the day, right? And that, we all know, stress and anxiety, as they compound, can create a lot of other health issues. just that cortisol running through the body just starts to compound on itself. And so CBD is designed to kind of just slow some of that down, and we like to say it takes the edge off. If it's taken before bed, it can really, genuinely, I don't just say this, I know it does now because of how many people we've given it to, it can give people deeper, longer sleep. So a lot of, like, for example, we had, one of the first people that I really tested this on was a friend of mine. He's 70 years old. He was a pastor out in Idaho, and he was
Watch it with that 70 stuff.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm on my way. He was waking up 8, 9, 10 times a night, and he started taking our product, and immediately it was down to two times a night.
Now, what was he taking?
He was taking one of these.
What do you do with such a thing?
Well, let me show you. So you just squeeze it. You pop it open, and then
It's like old school honey sticks.
there you go.
That's quite a technique there, you guys.
Yeah.
I can see this is not for the. You got to be athletic for something.
You do, you got to make sure your fingers are strong.
All right, so he pulled that off before he went to bed.
He did. Yep, that's what he does.
One
He
of
has
those will make him sleep.
That's
different products. One of them called
Oh,
Relax.
not that. Different.
Well, you could take. Well, we have one specifically for sleep, and this one has some chamomile and blueberry and mint in it.
called
And that
Good Night.
chamomile just gives it a little extra oomph.
And what are the different products? How many problems can you solve?
Well, we do have to be careful. I can't make any health claims, and it's not an FDA-approved product. But just anecdotally, what people have shared with us is that the side effects seem to be deeper sleep and better days, better mood. So we have 3 products. We have one called Anytime, and this one, which is the original, and that's just hemp and honey, just the base product, right? And then we have one called Relax, which is specifically more designed to reduce stress. That has cinnamon, vanilla, and another couple ingredients in there that are.
How did you
specifically
come up with the different ingredients? Was that experimental or scientific decision?
That was both, but very much scientifically formulated. These are scientifically formulated products. So we have PhDs, chemists, food scientists that have all gone into the making of this product.
And the sleep one, if you could talk a little bit about sleep, because sleep is such a big thing, but the ketamine and how that affects your sleep, that for this particular product, how good it is.
Yeah, so
I take that myself sometimes.
Yep. So yeah, I'll get to the sleep one in a second. Just real quick on just like this one. This one's called Relax. This is definitely what I would call our flagship product, and this has L-theanine, which actually sun-theanine, L-theanine, and that has 200 clinical studies on it for everything from anxiety to stress to sleep. I mean, it's an amazing ingredient. It's the active ingredient in green tea, and so we take that extract and we add it to the CBD, and that now creates a synergistic effect that for your body, the way your body sees it is just, oh, I can just like relax for a little while. It just takes the edge off, and you feel it. It just kind of drops you down a notch, and you don't feel high, and you can still function at 100%. And if you're during the day, you're not just going to fall asleep. It really is. It goes along with kind of where you're at in the day. Yep. And it just enhances that experience. So if you take this before bed, this is our sleep product called Good Night. Then you're just everybody's a little different, but I'd say most people within 30 minutes start to feel just like they're ready to go to sleep, and then they're out and they stay out, and everybody does experience it a little bit differently, and some people like to take two of these sticks for a little bit of a stronger dose, and some people might even take half. So it's a very unique product in that people do need to find their own.
And you put it with
dose.
tea too.
Yep, put it with tea.
All right, so you got one for sleep.
One for sleep.
You got one for anxiety.
Yep.
What else you got?
That's pretty much what we've got right now. That's our focus. Is stress, anxiety, and sleep. That's our focus.
So basically,
now I will say
you
this.
have 3 products.
We have 3 products.
Good.
All of the products also help with underlying inflammation. And we actually have the ingredient that's being used in there, this particular
What kind of inflammation?
That's a good question. So I will have to send you our research, the article. It's a scientific, type. There's a specific type of inflammation it deals with, but some people have taken CBD oil for tumors. I can't. There's things I probably would get in trouble for saying.
How long has this been going on? This.
Been on for around hundreds of years.
It's
People
been going on
CBD.
forever. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, it used to be in every medicine cabinet. Grandma in great grandma's medicine cabinet, she probably had hemp oil, and then it kind of got shut down. And since 2018, there was something called the U.S. Farm Bill Act in 2018, and that created a pathway for
Future opportunities.
for these kinds of products to be made and distributed into the national marketplace across the United States.
Why don't you talk about one particular product in the future? Because this would be a good time that you talked about potentially with first responders. That's something that, it's a big deal what's coming up
Are we
potentially.
talking about firemen and policemen?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so this is a little early, but we're not too far away. But we've got so we were introducing this product to, this is amazing kind of, one of these, as you're going along business, sometimes you wonder, like, is there a providential hand in things, right? And so we were introduced to a woman who runs a natural clinic here in Connecticut to specifically serve the population of first responders. So that would be, police, EMTs, firemen, military active and veteran, healthcare workers, and what I've learned, which is new to me, honestly, was that this particular population suffers significantly with these kinds of things: stress, anxiety, sleep, PTSD, depression, and at a very acute level.
Veterans.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Night tremors, just like things that are that are very unpleasant, and that can snowball in life, right? So, right now the kind of current model is that they go in and there's a XYZ type medications that they're put on, and the natural solutions that are available. It's kind of like hey, well, go on Amazon and try these products, and try this one and try that one, and it's like, well, try CBD. Okay, well, which CBD? Which herbal ingredient? Which company, right? And so can be difficult to pinpoint down. And not all of these products and not all of those products are made the same. So anyway, we got involved in this network, and we're given we've over time now built some reputation. We're being given the opportunity to develop a product line specifically for first responders and everyone else too, but we're building it with them in mind. And part of what that requires is that these products contain absolutely zero THC, and that's what would spike on like a drug test.
So it's important to make so the way I look at it is I always try to keep things simple. You have CBD, which is full spectrum, and you have THC. So basically, what happens is if you get drug tested, you can't have CBD because it's going to be.
You can't have THC.
You can't have THC
Yep.
because that's something that would pop and that you'd be in problems. But they do make it to where there's no THC, right?
Yeah. And so we use a very small amount in this one and these ones. So these are we sell these in coffee shops, we sell them in grocery stores, right? Convenience stores. So with that tiny little bit, but that's enough to pop on a drug test.
So what's basically the difference between one product and the other? And when you're formulating this product for policemen and first responders, as you mentioned, who's involved with, is that the amount of honey to hemp?
Yeah.
What else?
Yes. So there's quite a few people now involved in formulating that product for the First Responders Network. There's a half dozen of us. There's a lot of thought and care that goes into what ingredients, how much, and in what ratio.
Is your team all in Connecticut?
Yes, our team is mostly in Connecticut. Yep, is in Connecticut, and the woman who owns this, it's called the Honor Wellness Clinic in Manchester, Connecticut. She is very hands-on in formulating this coming product line, and so
more to follow.
So more to follow on that.
How did you happen to get into this, Eric?
Great question. So 2018, my first child was, first and only at this point, child was born, and I knew I needed to kind of get my act together as an entrepreneur and really do something
Were you working
significant.
before that?
Yeah, I've always worked. I was traveling a lot. I was working, but I wanted to have something that was more significant of an income and that I could actually be at home while working. So I wanted to be I wanted to really get I went to school for business administration at UConn. Always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I knew that I wanted to create a product, and wanted to create at that point the healthiest CBD product I could. So
Based on what, though? I mean, one doesn't just come up with an idea to be involved with honey and hemp.
Yeah.
There's something you're not telling me.
Well, there's a lot here, So, I mean, listen, I was in the health world for a long time. For many years before that, I met my wife as a assistant chef, helping people heal from different ailments just through food and nutrition, strictly. And so I've always been into health and wellness, and always been super active, and literally traveled the nation, under some different health coaches and things like that. So when I saw the CBD products that were on the market, I said, hey, they're not as good as they're saying they are. Like, for example, gummy bears, okay? I love gummy bears. They're delicious. That's what most people take. Not to knock on gummy bears, or for those people who are taking gummy bears, but gummy bears are filled with sugar, corn syrup, natural preservatives, natural flavorings, natural colorings, and a handful of other things that just simply don't belong in a health product. So I was like, we looked at this and we said, man, we could come up with something better. Like, what's the healthiest delivery system for this ingredient, CBD oil? And it's kind of so raw honey has been a trusted medicine for thousands of years. We've been using societies around the world have been using honey as a delivery system for medicine for far longer than you and I have been around. So it was a great combination. It was a natural fit, and we started trying it, working it out, and people loved it.
So one of the things, Murray, that is nice about Eric in the business we're going to talk about is hemp with a cause, and he finally found a cause. And we got a great story about what the cause is and what we're trying to do in India.
Before we get to that,
yep.
I got to ask Eric a big question. Now, you said your bees are from Colorado.
Yes.
Healthy bees in Colorado. We all know that.
The healthiest.
But we also know that bees are in trouble
yes.
in the U.S. of A. What can you tell us about the bee problem, and are you concerned?
Yes.
Without bees, we got nothing. No food.
60 to 70% of all food.
Yep, that's right. So Albert Einstein once said, if the bees die, if the bees go extinct, humanity has 3 years to live. And just like John said, it's actually 80% of the global food population is dependent on pollinators. So the bees are facing an extinction level event. And that is...
How close are we to that?
Well, it fluctuates every year. But we're okay right now. But it's a serious situation.
Why can't we solve the problem?
Well, there are
people working on the problem.
There are people working on it.
It's very important. A lot of money being spent on federal governments to try to keep the bee population up, but it's really coming down to entrepreneurs. There's a company in Israel that's got some state-of-the-art technology.
They got new beehives, I think.
Oh yeah. Robotic beehives is kind of the next wave. It's called Beewise is the name of that company. It's amazing work that they're doing internationally. It's just incredible. But so to answer your question, there is a lot of work being done to help the bees. Okay, I mean just the whole Save the Bees movement is global.
So it's not a concern for you.
Oh, it's a concern.
God's doing some amazing things in bees all around the world.
Yes,
it's amazing
we
what's
absolutely
happening.
believe that God is doing something with the bees.
Is there a future, or should I be looking for you on Shark Tank?
You would certainly not be the first to ask me. There's a good chance we'd be willing to go on Shark Tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is it time to get John Leahy involved in this conversation? I mean, this just seems like such an odd combination. John's just back from the St. Patrick's Day
Absolutely.
parade in New York.
Absolutely.
And,
well, that's why I do food power.
How on earth did you get involved with this, John?
So what I do is I'm sort of one of those global critical infrastructures, food, power, water. This fits into the food. So I do power, I do water in Africa, and also food. So the three things that we do is food, power, and water. So this actually has to do with food. So the story of how we got connected with Eric is in 2019, I went to New Delhi, India, and did entrepreneurial training program with a company called Life Entrepreneurial Training. So this is where I actually went to New Delhi, India. So we have a picture of me at the Taj Mahal. One of my requirements was if I was going to go to India, I had to see the Taj Mahal. So not only did I go to India, but I traveled 10,000 miles in India all by myself. And one of the things that we saw, they're going to put a picture up, is the Taj Mahal. So this is me at the Taj Mahal. So I'm doing my YouTube Beautiful Day right there at Diana's bench. So I traveled, you would have been impressed, Murray, 1,000 miles with a Hindu driver, didn't speak a lick of English. It'd be like driving from New York to Chicago to Washington, D.C. and back to New York.
Only John Leahy can pull that off.
Basically, he spoke Hindu, I spoke English. We used to knock on each other when basically communicate, but I wasn't going to India without it. So the next picture is me at the beach in Chennai. So not only did I go to northern India, this is me in southern India, like Miami. So one of the things that's interesting about India is I travel more miles in India than most Indians do in their lifetime. I got on a plane in New Delhi and flew all the way to like going from New York to Miami to Chennai. And then this is the next picture is who is really our focal point, and that's John Gideon. I call him the Indian Santa Claus. So he's from the South, so it'd be like a guy from Alabama, and he's working in New York City. So he's actually from southern India, but his provenance is Upper Burjan, which is in the foothills of the Himalayas. And one of the things that John has done on the next picture, for 30 years, he's been giving out vitamin A and helping the blind for 30 years. I met him at this entrepreneurial training program and how we met. So this is what he's been doing, basically a lot of it out of his own money due to his own passion, because vitamin A is one of those deficiencies in the diets of a lot of Indians, and he gives it the vitamin A. They've had to be so far, and you can appreciate this, he gave away so much of his own money, the government finally had to chip in because they were shaming him into giving him this, but he was so passionate about helping the blind and vitamin A for 30 years. So this is him at a thing. So these are things we don't think about in this country. I mean, we get vitamin A in our diets, but somebody to just say, hey, it stunts growth. If you don't have vitamin A, it's one of those things that stunts growth. So basically that's...
I'm shrinking.
Yeah, well, you need some vitamin A, maybe. You know,
55 gallons.
You know, there is vitamin A in honey.
Yeah, so we're going to try and get you some honey.
Yeah.
So what Gideon did is basically started to become a beekeeper trainer. So how the connection to hemp with a cause is, I introduced Gideon to Eric. So what Gideon is he trains beekeepers. So what Eric and I have done is raised money for about $400 to $500. You can actually change the life of someone in India by letting them be a beekeeper. He's already done this for about 5 or 6 people, and he's trained hundreds of beekeepers. One thing about Gideon is, in the state that he came from, it was illegal to be a beekeeper after 55, which he thought during COVID, nobody was working, so a lot of these people in the mountains of the Himalayas, they were starving or having limited access. So he actually got the laws changed so that you could become a beekeeper. Is that what he does in New York? No, he's in India right now. So he's in the foothills of the Himalayas.
I thought you said he was from New York.
No. I'm from New York. He's from India. So these pictures right here.
But is his vocation, is that how he made his money with bees?
He was retired in audio video for many years. He did a radio program, and when he retired, he wound up continuing to do beekeeping and, helping the blind and giving vitamin A. And during COVID, he looked at the bees in his garden, and he was following the bees around and had a revelation that during COVID, he should become a beekeeper. So what he did was he became a beekeeper. This is a picture of him right here. I'm going to let Eric explain what he's doing right now, because we've had him come to New York, have him come visit us, and Eric took him out to Colorado. So Eric, if you can explain what this picture is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, here Gideon is, he's educating, actually us in this particular photo, about beekeeping. And he's incredibly knowledgeable and passionate about bees. This is actually a picture of our where our honey comes from. So he came with us to Colorado, and he was the one teaching us what was going on with the bees. And so he does this everywhere he goes. But in India, his focus is to take essentially poor farmers and people who are active and are doing things right. Some of these people might, if they're doing well, they might make a couple bucks a day at working full time, right? And they have to support their families on that. And so he is giving them another means of income by training them to become a beekeeper.
What do they do with the honey?
So they can bottle that honey, sell that to their friends and family. But the key is that by going through his program and being in his network, they're now entered into Gideon's Barn Honey Cooperative.
That's what we're starting, Larry.
And
so
that's
you're
what we're
one of the guys first to know what a global initiative. So 10 years when we make it, and all these Indian people can actually sell their honey globally. This is what the vision is. The vision is for Gideon to support beekeepers. We raise the money to try to get them. We're trying to get some institutional money, but right now we've been funded out of our own pockets. We raise thousands of dollars and giving it to Gideon. He takes every dollar we do and he 10x's it, meaning that every dollar gets stretched as far as it can. And what's nice to know is for $400 to $500, you're actually just like a plumber, just like an electrician. It's a beekeeper. He's training someone to get a beekeeper. There's very high levels of, you just don't give it to anybody. They got to be motivated. They got to pass a test, and they've got to go to his training. But what's nice during COVID, some of these beekeepers that got trained were in the middle of nowhere in the Himalayas. That the honey sustained their family during COVID. Yep. So we have testimonies that by becoming a beekeeper, kids were able to get fed from their family with honey. And maybe you can talk about the nutritional value of honey, because that's something that's very important.
Yeah, and real quick on that, the cooperative guarantees the purchase of any surplus honey. So that's how we're guaranteeing them an income. So if they can't sell it to their friends and family, the cooperative will buy it. And that's how dairy.
Who's the cooperative?
That's what we're starting.
That's what we're co-starting with.
Where
Gideon.
are they going to be located?
That's in India.
Everything's
what
in
would they
India.
do with it?
In northern India.
They would sell.
So then they will then they will bottle it, kind of like we are here, and then they'll sell it.
And that's
into
the vision.
Distribution channels.
The
city.
vision is to create like a milk co-op or a honey co-op in India.
Yep.
And that basically Eric's, not only are we funding it, but we're guaranteeing that we'll buy any excess. And now Himalayan honey, if you could talk about the benefits of Himalayan. Eric was talking a little bit about how the bees and the flowers. Himalayan honey is well sought after. It's a very, very, because you're high, you're above 12,000 feet. So the honey that's going there is actually,
What's the difference between Himalayan honey and Colorado honey?
Well, so we're not necessarily looking to take the honey from India and bring it here to America. We could. It could be exported, and there is plenty of Himalayan honey that is brought this way. But we want to empower India to keep their honey in India and to sell it to their own people, because right now there's a huge lack of high-quality raw honey in India because of another problem that I know I'm not answering your question directly, but there's another big problem in India with honey, in that that country and other countries like China and Brazil are making what's called sucrose water, and they're selling it as honey. Way more sucrose honey is being sold as honey than real honey is being sold as honey. And honey in India is a part of their culture. It's a part of their
DNA.
Their DNA. I mean, we could talk about it, but in Ayurveda, which is the healing system of India, honey was used as a delivery system for herbs for thousands of years, so India needs more raw honey. Well, the only way to have more raw honey is to have more beekeepers. So this is why we're helping Gideon to raise up kind of an army of beekeepers within this cooperative, so that now there's and keeping all of that inside of one kind of name, being Gideon's Barn, so that there's enough to actually sell into the cities.
How many beekeepers are you hoping to?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
This is just the start of it.
We're not sure how big this could go, but when I throw out, I'm like, so Gideon, do you think we could have 1,000 beekeepers? He was like, oh yes.
Have you been there?
I have not been there, but he has been here twice, and he is.
We have the invitations. We're going to hopefully go this year.
He's become a very close friend. We have an open invitation. We talk regularly, we want to get out there and go see their country.
And what's nice about Gideon is that you have a man that lives his faith, and that he has helped for so many years by just giving his own money to the kids. He sees this now as helping the families. So because you have an opportunity now to help families, he's very excited about it. The other thing is he had one of the ambassadors from Europe wind up buying his honey, and specifically came back and gave them a Slovakian honey hive. So basically it was a big thing. So imagine Murray the Eye having the ambassador from Slovakia come buy some plumbing supplies. So it worked out to be a big program, and he's very humble. He's a very, very humble man.
It's a beautiful farm.
And it just works out that, for him, he's just happy that we're involved and we're trying to do this. One of the things that we need to shift on a paradigm, because we're just funding it out of our own money. We can't, it's not sustainable. So one of the reasons why we appreciate going on your show and getting a little bit more is that we need to expand the vision so that we can get corporate sponsors, so we get additional sponsors involved, so that we can have greater impact. So we're kind of early on this program. We appreciate you. We understand the reach. I mean, this is too tough to die.
I'm a trendsetter.
I know, you are. And we come back in 5 years, we'll bring Gideon here next time he's here.
I hope I'm here in 5 years.
You're too tough to die. You're like New London here. But we appreciate you giving us this opportunity to talk about it.
John, when you go over to India, what's it like?
I'll tell you, Murray, I got to be honest with you. It's a double-edged sword, because it's on one side of the coin, it's the most beautiful things you'll ever seen. And on the other side of the coin, it's basically just raw depravity of cows running around, kids begging on the streets. It's hard for that Western culture to kind of see that that's the norm. I'm not banging on it. It's just that that's what their culture is. I got adopted into an Indian family. So when I went to Chennai, my friend Bala, his family took me to all these different places. I got to go to an Indian temple for 2.5 hours. Walk around the whole thing. So as a Christian, it was a very great experience to just see how they worship and what they do. And then also, India is growing. I mean, they're bigger than China with a population, 1.4 billion people. So, and then the other thing that's happening is, with Indian Americans, they work very hard and send a lot of money back to India. So Indian people are some of the hardest working people, because what they want to do is see the best. It's just like every other immigrant story in America, where you work hard, you try and spend money back. So there's this interesting thing going on where a lot of Indians are successful business people. It's in their blood, where a lot of times that they, look at the stuff that they own. They own a lot of businesses. They send money back. I'll always have a love of India, but for the last 25 years, I've worked in Africa. So I take a lot of my lessons that I've learned in Africa to India, and I have a desire to go back to India, just because I have friends all over it from this entrepreneurial training company, And I believe that India in the 21st century will surpass China when it comes to being the country of dominant. There's really a lot of optimism. The young people are changing some of the social norms where they're not wanting to be like their parents, technology, and this real entrepreneurial spirit in India. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. The other last thing I'll say is that the way the British kind of ruled India with breaking it into 4 parts, it's a very diverse subcontinent. The only reason why India is not a continent, there wasn't an Indian in the room when they decided to pick the 7 continents. It's so big. It is a big, big country. And basically, they speak English, so they're English speaking, and then they also speak their native language. So I've learned a tremendous amount. I love India. It's in my blood to go back. And this opportunity here, with our other friend Lamak in Chennai, we've helped build wells for lepers. We've helped orphans get street clothes. So there's a lot of charity opportunities. What I like about this one is we see the vision from where we started just 2 years ago to now, where we got trained beekeepers that have a job, and it's about job. So there's about 6 right now.
6 that are up and going.
No, are they in touch with you guys, Eric, as far as?
We let the beekeeper. Not the beekeepers.
Because we let Gideon run.
We let Gideon run the show there, but
it's just easier.
But they're connected to each other. So there's circles of accountability. So if one of them kind of goes rogue, they're all responsible. So that's
what do you mean,
that's
what
really.
do you mean goes rogue?
Here's the deal.
I mean, the honey's doing the work.
Well,
but
we're putting $300-$400 worth of equipment into their hands. These people, these are not people who could ever afford that. That's just reality.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And
they're motivated.
You know,
Gideon screens them, has a very good screening process, and they got to be wanting to motivate. This is an opportunity.
Geographically, how close are these?
Very, very close, because they're in his province.
Currently.
So his province, our goal is to export this, but I always misspell it, but it's Upper Bajani, Uttar.
No, I'll say it.
Go ahead.
Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand.
It's the
You're
same.
a linguist as well.
Well,
he's got a lot of talent.
Uttarakhand.
So that's the
I've
source
just been
of,
listening. You gotta listen.
That's the source of the Ganges River, the most famous river.
Yep.
Because he's at the foothills. So you know how Colorado, basically you got the plains in Colorado, and then all of a sudden it pops with the Rockies? Mm-hmm. That's essentially where he is. He is in the foothills of the Himalayas, and then the Himalayas go from 9,000 feet all the way up to 20,000 feet. So he's at the foothill of the Himalayas. So he lives about an hour and a half from where the Ganges River, which is the most famous river in India, where they go bath and purify, and it's huge festivals.
Have you tasted the honey, Eric?
I have. I've tasted their honey. It's delicious.
So I got to ask you, if I put the Himalayan honey here and your honey here, could you tell the difference?
I could tell the difference. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't.
Definitely. Yeah.
And is it of the quality?
Oh yeah.
That ours is.
Yes.
Or yours is.
Yes. Yeah. No,
well, what's it called? What's it called?
What's
the stuff that you said that?
He gave you some.
No, I know that. But what's the stuff that you said that it's part of the delivery system again?
Sorry.
Himalaya honey, the Himalayan.
Himalayan honey.
You just mentioned the word a little bit ago.
Uttarakhand.
Yeah.
Uttarakhand.
Yeah.
Where it's from?
No. About the delivery of.
Ukaraka.
He's got it down.
Where are we going here?
No, I'm just saying as far as the delivery system of the honey with the herbs.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because
right.
that's
a
subculture. It's a subcultural thing. So what happens a little bit is that we don't, and the Western mindset is a little bit different than the Eastern mindset because they use homeopathic. One thing that I learned when I went to India is this. There's 200 million farmers. They don't call anything organic in India because everything's organic. They don't use pesticides. But what's happening is the GMOs are coming from a lot of the global manufacturers are starting to get a foothill into India. Prior to that, it was just like America where you had the little plot of land. Think about this, there's 370 million people. They got over 200 million farmers in India. So basically a lot of things is everything's organic. But when the word you used before, it's important for the mindset to understand.
So Ayurveda. Ayurveda.
So explain what Ayurveda is.
Even here in America now, Ayurveda is becoming popular. I don't know if you've heard of it, but It's a kind of it's a whole system of healing and health and wellness, and it's, you know, this person is better off eating these kinds of foods. This person is better off taking these kinds of supplements and herbs. It's a whole very complex system. Well, the word for honey in that system is yogavahi, and yogavahi means the healings, the delivery system of healing qualities of herbs deep into cells and tissues. That's the meaning of honey.
We're talking about we ingest honey and the delivery system is our bodies that somehow gets it to where it needs it, or
it means that the herbs, when they are infused into honey, the honey as a delivery system will carry those herbs deeper and more effectively into your body than like if you were to take it in a pill. When you take it into a pill, the body has to break it down, digest it down. It has to go through the gut lining, right? And then you got to assimilate it into your body, and it goes through the bloodstream. Well, with honey, your body reads the honey differently than it might with a capsule. So, and it processes it as a sugar, and it breaks the sugar down and everything in it, just like a sugar. And what does sugar do? It's registered as a fuel. Specifically, honey is registered as a fuel. So now those herbs are also kind of go into the same pathways, and it's a more effective delivery system for whatever is being carried inside that honey. And honey, again, has got minerals and nutrients and vitamins and all sorts of things. I mean, honey's just I could talk about honey for ages, but you know, one of my favorite things, like honey is mentioned 52 times in the Bible. It's the only food that is said specifically to be good for you and to eat it. That was King Solomon, the wisest man of all time. Right? He said, eat honey, it's good for you.
You want to try a little bit?
yeah.
All right, let's have a taste test.
It's a taste test.
Yeah. Here. All right, so this is just the original honey, okay? This is just our honey mixed with our full spectrum CBD. And this is going to make you just feel nice.
That's got a little different taste to it.
Yep.
What is it?
That's the hemp you're tasting.
Well, it's a hemp. Kind of tastes like rope. Very tasty.
Maybe you can give him one.
All right, are you ready for the next one? Now, this time, I'm going to give you a honey stick. Okay? So,
What do I do with this now?
so now all you need to do
Yeah.
is you're going to put it in your mouth with the seam pointing this way, and you're going to bite the tip.
Do I eat that?
And it'll pop open. Now make sure that this is going up and down and bite
Just
the
pop
very
it,
end.
pop it open. Yeah, just like that.
Bite the very end of it.
You don't have to tear it off. Just bite.
You bite the end. No, you didn't get the end. You didn't listen. That's what everybody does. They don't bite the end.
What?
Did you get it?
Did it open?
There you go.
That
just
sounded
popped
like
open.
It just popped open.
All right.
What do I do now?
So now just squeeze it up and into your
My
mouth.
teeth?
No, with your fingers.
Yeah, fingers.
You start from about halfway up.
I'll come out.
All right, you're killing me. Here, take this one.
No, I'm going to get it. How come I can't get it?
Let me see that thing. I gotta give you here. Take that one. Open. Just go ahead and try that. Just taste it.
It goes like that. Oh, it's open.
It's open.
Then you just go like this with your fingers.
It's a little bit of finesse to get. Once you figure it out, you'll get it every time.
I used to leave a lot more of it. Now I got a lot more.
That's got a different taste.
Yeah.
So what's that one?
So
Cinnamon?
that's our cinnamon, vanilla, and L-theanine, and that one's an even stronger, more relaxing experience. It's very nice. You just feel calm and relaxed throughout the day.
I'm not gonna feel calm if I can't get this out of here. Right now. Some bitch won't want to come out.
So I know we covered a lot. We got a
We
couple
only have
minutes.
5 minutes left, guys, so
Yep.
anything else you want to get in there while I'm getting this, extracting this out of here?
Well,
It's coming one way or the
that's
other.
close
I'll
strong.
tell you right now.
Vision of the co-op
Well, that's
and
why
the
we,
benefits of CBD.
Derek, I got a suggestion.
tell me.
Got to make these things edible.
It's not a bad idea.
We thought about it. It's not that simple. We're actually working on plastic free. So those are plastic straws.
But before we close up,
All right.
how many people are involved in this in your business?
So we've got 4 people actively working full time in the business, and then we've got lots of suppliers and consultants and marketing people and.
Where's your biggest market?
Connecticut right now, yeah, because because it's local and it's our network.
And how do you market it? Just a door to door?
So we're online, so people can buy the product online.
Okay, sorry, ladies, supposed to look at it. Where would they go to look it up?
The website is Hemp Honey Life.
Hemp honey.
HempHoneyLife.com. Yep, and then it's in a number of stores. We're getting into a growing list of stores. So
Website has them all.
Website probably should have them all,
Yep.
but we don't have them.
How's your internet sales?
Listen, every business like ours always needs more. So, but it's there. People are buying, and the people that get on it, they try it, they come back. We have one of our most loyal clients is 100 years old. She
Really?
buys it faithfully every month.
We'll keep her alive. That could be a big seller for us.
Yeah, we love her. So, we find that people who really tend to stay with it are people who they take it faithfully, and then they experience those benefits, and they're not just trying it like once and saying, it didn't work for me. Well, it works for everybody. It's not like a does it work or doesn't it work for you. CBD is designed. Your body has something called an endocannabinoid system, and so that endocannabinoid system regulates homeostasis in your body. So if you're kind of out of whack, somewhere along the way, the endocannabinoid system has something to do with that.
What a vocabulary, Aaron.
I know. He's got $1 million.
You're killing me, Aaron.
I'm a millennial. What do you expect?
Aaron, it's so nice to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Will you consider coming on again?
I would,
sometime?
absolutely.
John,
Thank you very much.
please,
We always appreciate it.
Schedule other shows for me.
Absolutely.
John does all the work for me.
John.
Easy.
Point and shoot.
I just ask him what we're doing next sometimes.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, guys. Thanks for watching the show. Out there, Murray the Eye, signing off from the city. Too tough to die. New London.
Too tough to die.